We'll get messy today, guys. Hey everyone, welcome back to my Earth Friendly Kitchen. This is Maria, your host, and today we're making black bean burgers. So, from scratch. So this is a recipe that I used to make a lot when I was vegan. It's a great substitute for like a meatless Monday. My husband really loves them. When we got together, and he's not been vegan since I met him. He was vegan for a little while, so he was very open to like vegan options. But when I met him, he was like, wow, I can't believe how delicious these are. It's also a pantry meal, something that I consider a pantry meal because it's very minimal ingredients and mostly from what you would find in a pantry. So we're just going to start by chopping some onions up, and we're going to get these onions and carrots going while we're putting everything else together because I want to sweat them down a little bit. I want to soften them up because they're going to go straight into the burger. And it's going to provide us some really nice texture. So like, with black beans or any kind of beans, burgers, you want to give texture similar to, I don't want to say like exactly how you would with a regular burger because it's obviously not going to be like a regular burger. But, you want to give some texture because you don't want people to just bite into like mush, And when you smash beans, that's what you can get is mush. Oh my God, guys, this doesn't want to open. What? Just kidding. All right. All right. We're just going to take this guy out. This top put layer, and we'll deal with him later. All right. So, it's always the onions. Why? Why do they always do that to me? So, we're just going to chop them up a nice fine dice because, again, we want to add texture, but we don't want to add big, giant chunks of veggies in the burger. Especially onion because, it's onion. Oh, these guys tried to escape. Nobody escapes the pool. All right, now we'll handle these little pieces that just didn't want to fly. You too. You don't escape either. You tried, but you failed. All right. Sometimes, veggies have a mind of their own, and you just gotta make them submit to your will. What? I don't know. I don't know. We're quirky today, guys. All right, so just chop nice and fine. If you have something like that happen, try to match up your uniformity. As we know, it helps with the cook, okay? It helps with everything to cook evenly and smoothly so that you don't burn some pieces while, trying to cook others. So then we're going to take the carrot that I've washed. Now I didn't peel it because we're going to grate it. So I don't think that really needs to be peeled. You can peel it if you want to, but we're just going to grate it with our little hand grater here. Mostly because my giant grater is in the dishwasher and getting cleaned from some cheese that I grated yesterday for some chicken parm sliders, which you'll see a video about very soon. You should check that out. So I like to grate the carrots. This is an excellent way to add some nutritional density to the dish. It adds, carotene, which is great for eye health and, skin health and everything. And so, it's also some way that, again, not always a fan of hiding veggies for kids, but, if it's in the burger, they're not necessarily going to see it. And so it's a great way to just kind of boost the nutritional value of the dish because the rest of it is just beans and rice basically that we're putting together. So I'm just going to grate this whole carrot up in this hand grater. This is why I like to use my big grater, guys, because you don't have to see me struggle with this tiny little grater. That's better if I put it on the dish. This is good for like, quick things, like if I wanted to zest a lemon, but note to self, whole carrots, wait for the big grater to be done in the dishwasher. All right. That should actually be pretty good because you don't want to add too much because there's a lot of water content, which is actually why we're going to cook these up a little bit before we put it into the burger. So we are going to head over there to the stove so we can get these sauteing while we come back and do everything else. Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna add a little bit of canola oil to the pan, and we're gonna have enough because we're gonna saute the veggies, but we're gonna take these veggies out and put them into the burger, and then we're just gonna use the same pan to cook our burgers in, because why dirty another dish, right? Am I right? Come on. So we're gonna just add everybody in, and these will get sweat in. And I'm using the canola oil as opposed to olive oil because we're gonna be leaving these in, and you know, olive oil has a very low smoke point. It tends to burn easier. We're just gonna kind of let this go on a medium heat and forget about it for just a few minutes while we do everything else. Okay. All right, make them nice and even across though, so that they all start to cook up together and you're not having like big clumps where some are getting cooked and some aren't. All right, so that's start. So now we're gonna go back to the station and put all the other things together while these are cooking up. Okay, so we're back. And so what we're gonna do is get everything else kind of like in its place, our mise en place, right? So I'm actually gonna start with getting our burger toppings ready for when the burger's done, because that's gonna be very fast and we'll just get it out of the way. So the first thing I did was I just trimmed some lettuce. You guys don't need to see me peel lettuce off of a head of lettuce. And then we're just gonna add some very thinly sliced tomatoes, because I don't know about you guys, but I like tomatoes sliced on my burger. If you don't like tomatoes, leave them off. Skip this step. But I know my husband really likes them, and I really like them. And my daughter will just eat them plain. She'll eat a tomato like an apple, honestly. And then we'll just fan those out there nice and beautiful. And then we're also going to take some red onion to just slice up as well to go. This is a red onion that I've already started, so it needs to be used. Guys, if I'm anything if like not consistent, right? I mean, come on. We keep, we save, we use, we reuse. Very on brand for us. All right, I'm just gonna make these also into very thin slices. You know, you can make them into rings if you want. I'm only gonna do actually half of this one because not everybody in the house likes red onions, or onions in general for burgers. Caught it. All right, so then we'll just add these over here. And that's it. This is literally just getting toppings ready for our burgers. So that's that. We'll put that on the side here, nice and pretty. And then we're gonna start putting our burgers together. So I actually made these beans from scratch. It's a 16 ounce or 1 pound bag of dry black beans. And all I did was soak them overnight in water, warm water. And then the next day I drained that water, rinsed them off, put new water into the pot, and cooked them for about 1.5 to 2 hours with just a little bit of salt. And that's it. That's how I made it. And so I like doing that option sometimes more than the cans, because I feel like you get a little bit more for your money. Because a pound of the beans costs about $2 for the dry beans, whereas usually you can get a can of beans for $1, maybe $2 or $1.50. But this gives you like 4 or 5 cans worth of, or not 4 or 5, but like 3 or 4 cans worth of beans. So I don't know. I just think it's like a little bit more. If you have the time and the ability, that's where I would go. So I'm going to be doing 2 cans worth of beans, which is almost 4 cups. Because if you count it out, right, a can of beans is about 15 ounces. A cup is 4 ounces, so 4 times 4 is 16, right? So almost 4 cups of beans you would use if you did this option, okay? All right, we're just gonna add those in. And then I also have some rice, used old rice, not old, but like already cooked, pre-cooked rice that I had left over. And we're gonna take that and repurpose this with 1/2 cup of previously cooked rice. Did you know, fun fact, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, maybe because I recently learned it myself, that if you cook a starch, refrigerate it, and then rewarm it, the glycemic index is actually lower for this starch now. So you actually have less carbohydrate spikes in your blood sugar, and it's better for diabetics. So there you go, fun fact for that. I didn't know that until much recently there. Now the 1/2 cup of this rice is just really gonna help kind of give it a nice, again, texture, a little bit of binding in there, but it just kind of adds, you know, I don't know, some hardiness to the beans. And then we're gonna add 1 egg to really help bind it together. It also increases the protein density of the burger itself. So, you know, that adds to the nutritional value for that. And then we're gonna add our spices. So we'll start with some salt. We'll do 1/2 teaspoon of coarse kosher salt. So we're not gonna measure from the heart today, guys. We're gonna do the measuring ourselves. We're gonna do a tablespoon of our, what I'm calling garlic dust, because this is gonna melt into the burger. Garlic dust is what I made from garlic peels that I roasted and made myself, because it didn't quite get into the powder form. And then I'm gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder and a teaspoon of chili powder, because we're gonna make a chipotle aioli for this dish, and it's for the burger, like as our dressing for the burger. And so just the chili powder just really kind of helps complement that flavor profile really, really well. So I forgot my masher. I'll be right back. Let me get that. All right, so I'm just gonna mash up these ingredients. And, you know, you obviously, if you have a different masher, you know, use whatever masher you have. But you really just want to kind of get in there and break the beans up. And this could take a little bit of time, but, you know, you really want to get it, you know, you can have some whole pieces or half pieces, but you want to try to get it as mashed up as possible with all the ingredients. And it's going to help mix the egg in there and the rice and just get everything really coming together. So, takes a little arm strength. Let's peek at my veggies over there. They might need a stir here in a minute. Don't want them to burn. So, this gets like a good like arm workout. You could also like get some tension out, you know? I'm just kidding, I don't know. If you have tension. Alright, so you can see how it's just really kind of getting all nice and mashed. You still have couple of like whole pieces in there, but it's just nice and, you know, put together, and it's something that you'd be able to bind and form into a patty once our carrots and onions are all done. So my husband ran over and actually stirred everything up for us because I couldn't wait. No, but it was a good time to do that. I could see that there's some browning parts over there. So those are going to be done pretty quickly, actually, by the time we're done making this aioli. Now I'm using my little mini blender here. You can use any kind of mixer, hand emulsifier, hand blender, you know, whatever you have available for your kitchen. And I'm gonna put about a cup of mayo in here. Now aiolis is essentially just that. It's a mayonnaise based you know, dressing that you put together with flavor profiles. You can make your own mayonnaise to start, but I'm using store-bought mayonnaise today and adding these beautiful chipotle peppers right into the blender. So I'm just going to do 2 chipotles, save the rest for later. And then I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin powder and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, not our dust, actual garlic powder, because, you know, the dust melts and this is what you're going to be using, you know, into your thing. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. So we're just mimicking, like I said, the flavors for our burgers to make this about 1/4 1/2. What's that? Do the math. Because I'm not doing it. My husband could do it pretty easy in his brain. All right. And then we're just going to blend these until the chipotles are all broken down. This is going to give such a nice smokiness to the burger. Okay, you see how nice that looks? So creamy. And we're going to take a spoon, because why dirty another dish? Just make sure that's all nice and smoothed out. Give it a little taste. Oh my gosh, it's gonna go perfect. There's a little bit of heat in there from the chipotle peppers, and I mean, that's all you need. That's literally, that's it. This is it. Perfect. Okay, so let's go get our carrots and onions, and we're gonna put them into our dish. Okay, nice and browned. Beautiful. Okay, so these are really great, good to go. And like I said, we're just gonna use this same dish to cook our burgers. So I'm gonna scrape the pan down, and then we're gonna do the same thing, just kind of mash up, you know, kind of continue the mash and work those onions and carrots in. And oh my gosh, guys, it's not even cooked. I could like eat this with a spoon, but I won't because it's raw egg in there, okay? Don't want to be getting salmonella around here. All right, but honestly, the smell is just so good. Plus the aioli. All right, that's the one thing about this masher, is you got to get the ends out, because you know we don't waste around here. We get all the little bits. Okay. All right. Now this part is just going to be like any other burger that you make. You're going to form patties, right? So I have some parchment paper here, and because these aren't going to like shrink because they're not meat, like how when meat cooks, it shrinks. You're not going to, you know, you don't have to make them super big because this is going to be, you know, the size of your bun. So that's it. They don't have to be perfect. You probably take about half a cup or so for each burger patty. Just kind of put them together. A bean escaped, guys. You know how I feel about that. You'd think he'd be one of the lucky ones, but he's just going to go in the garbage, so should have fulfilled his purpose in life, to be eaten. Right. Obviously, this is the messy part, and you need to wash your hands, especially, not only because it's messy, but because there's raw egg, right? So you want to make sure you wash your hands when you're done forming these patties. Otherwise, you just run around like this. Okay. When I do the 2 cans of beans, I usually get about 8. So because I did measurement by myself, I did a little bit more than what you would get in the 2 cans. Okay. All right. Okay. And we'll fix that in the pan and show you how they come together. So let's take these guys, and then I'm actually going to take everything because we're going to put the burgers together also. Let's see, my waitressing skills from back in the day, y'all. All right, let's head over. Got it. Okay. All right, so just going to turn this back on to a medium heat. Put a little bit more oil back in the pan, just because it's all, you know, just a little bit to keep them from burning. And the pan's already pretty warm, right? So we're not going to have to wait too long to, you know, get this heated up. And then we're going to cook them on both sides. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to show you a couple of them and how they look when they cook up. I'm also using potato rolls for the bread to go on. This will be, you know, mostly for my husband and my daughter. I, myself, fine china here today, guys. Myself, I'm not going to use the potato rolls. I'm going to use my gluten-free tortillas. Like I make like a little wrap with them because these are not gluten-free. Potato rolls are very misleading because they still have wheat in them. Just saying. I wish they would have potato rolls without wheat in them. Maybe we should make our own. All right, so that's just gonna slide them on just like you would a burger. And the reason why we have to add a little fat in the pan, right, is because there's no fat in the burgers that we're making. So, you know, we want to add a little bit of fat. Helps with the cook, obviously, helps with the sear. And, you know, that's where we're at with that. You always have to think about that kind of stuff, because if you were just cooking burgers, you wouldn't have to put oil in the pan, right? You would just let it cook, because the beef fat itself has its own, you know, juices and whatnot, and that's what's going to help get that nice sear on your stuff. Now, you can, and my husband would say, you must toast a bun. It just adds another dimension of flavor, right, to the dish. I'm going to put these tops over here and our bottoms down here. It just adds another depth of flavor, right? The toasted bun. He thinks it's really required. A lot of people don't, which kind of bothers him. Sometimes we do barbecues. He's like, who wants a toasted bun? You get like one hand up. He's like, come on. But, you know, if we were grilling outside, it's a lot easier to do it on the flat top, obviously, than, you know, we would have to stop, do it here. We could do it, but I'm just going to do regular buns today. So you just want to cook them up nice and give them a little bit of time. You want them to get a nice sear on them. Again, this is about a medium, a little bit over a medium heat, okay? And you want them to be able to get like a crust on them. So there's a little browning here that you can see. Not quite as brown as I would like it to be. I'll probably flip that guy back over. But it's nice because they hold their shape, right? They're not falling apart. When you eat them, they're going to bite down really nicely. You're going to have a little bit of toothiness to them because you left some of the beans whole. And that's what you want from a burger feel, right? Like when you bite into a burger, it has that toothiness. And that's, and we're not, you know, people say like, oh, well, if you want a bite of a burger, just have a burger, right? But it's like, this is more cost effective, right, to have a bean burger. It's better for the environment. Like I said, if everyone did a meatless Monday in the world, we would reduce our gas house emissions by like 60%. But, you know, you're not going to force people. But this is a great alternative to what you're used to. And I think it would but persuade even the most meat eater out there that this burger is so flavorful, they're not going to miss out on it. That's the browning that I'm looking for. You see how nice that looks? So, all right. Nice browning, because this is what's going to give it that nice texture that we want. And of course, because there's egg in it, you want to make sure that the egg cooks all the way through, right? It cooks all the way through inside the burger as well. So then the way we're going to build our burger is we're going to take our tomatoes on the bottom, because then the burger has a nice place to sit. Okay, so tomatoes on the bottom. And then we're not going to put lettuce on all of these, because my husband says if you touch lettuce to anything, it destroys the burger. But most people like lettuce on burgers. So we'll do a little bit of lettuce here. Okay. And another little lettuce here. Okay. And we'll do some onions. You can just like crisscross. However, I mean, you guys know how to build a burger, I'm sure. However you want to do it. You can leave any of these ingredients out. You can add any ingredients you want. If you want to add cheese to these, if you want to add pickles. My husband's giving me a face. I love pickles. He doesn't. If you want to add, you know, avocado, that would go perfect with these Chipotle aiolis, you know, like the creaminess of the avocado would be really, really beautiful there. So yeah, just, you know, have fun with it. Make it your own. I mean, these are burgers, right? Not everybody eats the same way. Great. All right. So we're just going to slide this guy over. Okay. Made him a little bit bigger than the buns. That's okay. All right. Okay, we'll turn this off. Okay. And then we're going to spread. Oh, we'll use this guy. Our Chipotle aioli, just really nicely on the tops here. Okay, and there you go. And we have 6 more burgers. Be generous with this Chipotle. We have 6 more burgers to cook up, but look at that. Stats. Okay. Now, whoop. Now let's dig in. Oh my goodness. Guys, the aioli is perfect with the burger. It complements it so nicely. I mean, you can't go wrong with a black bean burger and like a Chipotle flavor, right? It's just so perfect because you just really don't miss out on anything from a regular burger. So I hope you try this at home. It's a very cheap meal, quick. Obviously we do this no breaks, you know, for the most part. You guys saw this in real time, so I hope you love it. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, put it in the comments, and then don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more dishes like this. See you later. Bye.